Hi, so can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you're doing here?
Well, my name is Jarvis. I live in Troy, Illinois, and I'm making a bow. This comes from an old fence post. It's made out of Osage orange. It's got a lot of wormholes in it and everything, and but it's got a lot of character. So it takes me about 20 to 30 hours to make a bow, and I got a lot of work to go before this is finished up. Started building them back in '93, and I'm still shooting bows that are 20, 23 years old that I made. They're still shooting. I hunt with them. I've been fortunate to take 4 deer with stone points, homemade bow, homemade arrow. So they do work. I shoot them year round for target practice. So, but basically this piece of wood down here on the ground is an old fence post that I split into 4 pieces with steel wedges. And that's what I started with to make this. Okay, so it looked like that originally, and then you'll use a hatchet to get a lot of the bark and the bad outer wood off with the hatchet, a hewing hatchet, which is beveled on one side. And then you have to work the thing down to one growth ring. You look at the end here, the way the tree rings grow, and you pick a nice fat tree ring on the end, and that's the front of your bow. So you start on this end of the bow and you work that down from here all the way down the other end without going below that growth ring. You can't cut into that, okay? So if you do that, and then you can draw your design, which I have in pencil mark here. You draw the design of the bow you want to make. And once you have that drawn on there, you can take your hewing hatchet and start hacking away everything on the outside of them pencil marks. And once you have the sides done, then you can go to the belly side or the back of the bow and you start at the bottom and you start hacking away on the belly side till you get pretty close to the dimensions of what you think the bow is going to be. Then you use a draw knife like this, and then you start scraping and working it with the draw knife. And the final method would be to use a wood rasp. And this is when you put it on a tillerine board, which is behind you, where you actually don't take off any wood until the bow is sprung back. So you have it under tension, and then you use your rasp to remove wood from the belly side only. And then when you're finally down to your very final stage, you'll use something like this, which is a cabinet scraper, and you're actually taking off just little tiny fine scrapings to finish it up. So with any luck, within 20-30 hours, you have a shootable bow. Of course, you have to make a string for it. So that's basically what we're doing. I made all the arrows from scratch over here. These are all hand done. Most of these over here I made. And made the arrow points. I do flint napping. I do brain tanning. The deer, these are brain tan hides. I killed the deer and then tanned the hide. This is what the Indians made their clothing from. They're smoked. Yeah. That gives them the brown color. You can smell them. They can still smell the fire, the wood, and smell of the smoke. You make clothes too? I'm going to make a jacket out of these. It's about 18 hours of work to make one hide.
So what is this?
That I bought. Now this, I also do the bead work on these things. I did all the bead work on that.
Did you make the Bennington?
The what?
The Bennington.
Flat. Yes, I did. Yeah. 11 months it took.
That's a nice job. 11 months to make
11 months. Most of it's all hand sewed.
Really? That's a nice job.
What is this bench for?
It's called a foot vice or a shaving horse. And it's made to, you know, you can clamp wood in it without denting the wood or damaging it, and you can freeze up both hands so you can hold it in place and work it. A lot of times the old timers that have a crew come in to their log cabin, or if they were making a barn or something, and they would make one of these to do all the work, or to make the furniture, shingles for the house, whatever, and then they would leave it there for the farmer to keep because it was too heavy to carry around. So they would make them at each site and leave it there for the people who live there.
So how does it work? There's a foot pedal that raises...
Yeah, right here. See this foot pedal? That presses this block down on the wood. If you lift that up, it'll loosen it up.
Okay, I'll catch
that. And I just shim it up with different pieces of wood here. See, and then you press down, and that's clamping it down, holding it in place.
I'll be right.
So They work great, yeah. I didn't make this. A friend of mine made it out of red oak and gave it to me. But you can make all your furniture in your house with one of these things. Repair your shingles for your roof if you make them wood shingles. If you had to make an axe handle or something, or a rake handle or whatever, you know, you make your own. You know, these things were invaluable back then. You know, keep them out under the shade tree and work out in the yard. Works great for making bows.
Do you make custom clothing?
Thank you.
Yep.